Hi everybody, it's Dawn at Crafting on the Green. I hope you're well. I am just trying to get myself lined up as we're doing a Facebook Live for this one, so bear with me. Okay. So today we're going to be making a selection box. We all love these at Christmas time, and this is a really nice, really simple box to make up. Really cute little gift, and obviously you could decorate this as much as you want to. So this is just made by a little sleeve that slides over the top of the box, and then you've got your goodies inside. You can obviously choose to either add in the dividers or not, but I think that's so much nicer than a little shop bought selection box. So I want to show you how to make that. So we've got here a piece of Bermuda Bay cardstock, and I've got a piece of DSP that's cut 6 inches by 12 inches. So I'll pop that aside for the moment. We're going to stick with our cardstock. So we want to make sure this is cut to 8 inches by 6 1/4. So cut at 8, we'll cut off this tiny piece here, and then by 6 1/4. Okay, and then we want to score it at 1 inch on each of the 4 sides. So I know by now you're all fantastic at making little boxes like this, and this one's even easier because it doesn't need a lid. So aside. So now we've done our scoring, grab your scissors, and we're just going to put a little wedge into each corner. So chop up one of the score lines, cut just a little bit off the end, and then add in a couple of wedges. So we want to do that to each corner. And it doesn't matter which way round you do it, as long as you've got a tab somewhere. So you'll notice I'm kind of just doing them all different directions. It changes for me on how I feel like cutting them on the days that I do them, but it really doesn't matter. Okay, so now we've got that. Get rid of these bits. So we're going to grab a bone folder and just run along all the score lines. I do love Christmas, it's exciting. And it's lovely to be able to make little gifts like this for people that just make things a little bit more special. So, now that we've gone over the score lines, we're just going to stick it together, just like any other box. So pop a bit of glue. I've got one that's deciding it doesn't want to work. There we go. Just pop a bit of glue on your tab, and then just stick that onto the next side. Just holding that for a second. Realised I've gone wonky. There we go. And then onto the next one. Why is it? Glue always wants to be a pain. Nearly full as well, and yet it still doesn't want to come out today. Okay. Just a couple at a time. Okay. So once you've got your tray, so if you decide you do want to do the strips to as dividers, then I really should have made some more space. Somewhere I've got loads of chocolates. There they are. So many boxes full of things. So let's come in and done. So I've got lots of chockies here. So pick a selection out. I try to go for different ones if I can. And pop in a limp ball as well. So we've got lots of little chockies here. So you can kind of arrange them how you want to arrange them first of all. So mine's going to look something like that. So I know I want 2 dividers to come down here. So get my Bermuda Bay cardstock and my trimmer back. And I want to cut 2 strips of card. So we want 7 3/8. 1, 2, 3. By 3/4. You've got anywhere up to 1 inch really to play with your dividers, but I went for 3/4 so that they weren't so deep. There we go. Oh, need to score as well. So we want to score each end at 3/4 of an inch as well. Okay, so now we've got a couple of those. So we'll bring back in our tray, and I recommend folding these like a very long Z shape, so they're in opposite directions, because we're going to want that to kind of go into there. Just like this. Now we're going to stick the ends down. I'll just pop another one in here. Kind of just helps you gauge where you want to stick them. So the middle ones are still going to fit. We can pop those back in at the end, that's fine. So I'm going to take one of these out. I'm just going to pop a bit of glue, if the glue will work. Glue on that side, and then another bit on the top here. So I'm not putting a lot on. I really don't want this to splodge out if we can help it. And we're going to kind of tuck that into there. And just like that. Okay. So you can slide it around a little bit until you find where you want it to go. But then you've got your little divider. So we'll do the same again on this side. A little bit of glue there. A little bit of glue there. If you think one of them's getting in the way, just take it out. You can still leave one of them in there to help you straighten it up. And just hold that for a second. Okay, so that can go back in there, they can go back in there. So now you've got your dividers, so nice and straightforward. I'll pop that to one side for a minute. Next we've got our DSP, which is going to create the sleeve for it. So with your DSP, make sure that you know which way you want the box to go, so that if you've got a design on there, you know which way it's going to be. So for me, it's going to be this way around. So I want my design to be horizontal. I also just need to grab my double-sided tape, which I've managed to bury. Far too much on my desk today. I have to hide everything otherwise the kitten gets it. And she does love trying to get hold of all the tape. So, got some double-sided tape. So what we're going to do now, we don't need to cut the DSP. It's already been cut, so it's 6 inches by 12. That's why I made the box this size, because then you can get 2 out of each sheet of DSP. So we're going to do some scoring, but it's just to help guide it. You don't have to score if you don't want to. So I'm going to turn it upside down. If you want, you could obviously use that side as well instead of the other pattern side. So we are going to score. I need to open this up. We're going to score at 2 7/8 and only score lightly. When you're scoring DSP, if you push too hard, you might rip it. So I'm barely even pushing there. You're probably not even going to notice that I've done anything. It's just a touch because we want it as a guide. If you push hard, you will rip it, okay? So just do it light enough that it makes a tiny bit of a notch. Then we want 3 7/8. So what we're doing here is we're scoring what is going to be the side of the box. So that's the 1 inch. Then we want 8 1/8 of an inch. And this is the other edge of the box. And 9 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so I don't know if you can see, it's just got very gentle score lines in there. Okay. So now we're going to just gently fold these over. I'm not pushing them all the way. I'm not using a bone folder. I'm just gently pushing them, mainly so I can see what I'm doing. Now, we're going to, we'll do it so it's kind of upside down because we can always redo it afterwards. So you want to see where it's going to overlap, but you don't want it to be tight. You need it to still be able to move. Okay, so in fact, let's empty our sweeties out and we'll do it upside down, which means we've got something to push against then. So as you wrap it up, you'll be able to see how tight it is or how loose. I'm going to use double-sided tape. It's a bit easier and a bit less messy. You can use glue, but with double-sided tape. So I'm going to put one strip right at the very end of this piece here, and I'm going to put another piece because it's going to overlap a tiny bit, and put another piece right at the very end of this piece. Okay, so that way when it overlaps it's going to stick here and here. Okay, so we're going to take both of them off at the same time, line up our inside, make sure that it's not too tight but that it is tight enough. Line it up, and then when you're happy, just pop it down. So that should slide on and off nice and easy. Okay, and then we can pop our sweeties back inside. Something like that. So now we've got our box. All we want to do now is decorate it, and you can decorate with ribbon, you can decorate with whatever you fancy. There is literally no limit, but I'm going to keep it nice and simple. So I've got a piece of real red card here, and I've got a postage stamp punch that I've punched out earlier, and because you know how to stamp a greeting, I've already stamped that on. That greeting comes from the Santa's Delivery stamp set. Special delivery just for you. Obviously you've got other ones on here as well, and you could have the trains, and you know, you can have a whale of a time, but I'm just going with a nice simple one. So I've got this, as I say, I've already stamped it and punched it out, so I'm just going to glue this onto my real red piece of card, which, by the way, that measures 2 1/4 by 1 5/8. So it's got a nice big red background behind it. And once you've stuck that onto there, add a bit of glue, if this glue is going to work, and just pop it straight onto the middle of your box. So I'm not going to push too hard there, because obviously we don't want to dent anything, we don't want to rip anything, but the glue will take itself, so you can just leave it for a short while and it will glue itself down. But that is how to make a selection box. If you decide you want to do it with different sweets, I recommend, so how I measure, what I measure, for this one I wanted it to be no longer than 6 inches wide. That's roughly, to be honest, 6 by 4.5, because I wanted to be able to wrap around the DSP, but again, you can mix and match. So all I would do is take what sweeties I've got, lay them on the grid paper, and then you can see what you can fit, how much you can fit, how big you want your box to be. So if you had something like that, you could say, right, well, it's 8 inches that way, 4.5 to 5 inches that way. You can make your box. So just lay everything out, work out the measurements, and then just add an extra 2 inches, so you've got 1 inch either side to score for the sides of the box, unless it's a bigger chocolate bar, in which case you'll need more than 1 inch, but that's how I make it. So anyway, as you can see, I've now got another selection box for somebody at Christmas to get a gift. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. And yeah, happy Christmas. It's getting closer. Speak to you soon. You all take care. Bye bye.